Hello, everyone. Robert here. I have this article here I wanted to go over with you guys. And this is about Mike Lindell and how he's responding to the letter from Dominion, the Dominion attorneys. I want Dominion to put up their lawsuit because we have 100% evidence that China and other countries use their machines to steal the election, which is good because if they want to go all the way to court, this is a chance that they can actually present the evidence to the judge and it would actually come out. So we'll see where this goes, but I just wanted to give this to you. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll read a little bit of it here. Dominion Voting Systems threatened my fellow CEO Mike Lindell with a letter dated December 23rd, 2020 from defamation lawyers. In the letter, Dominion lawyer Thomas A. Clare called Lindell's attacks on the voting company used in all 6 contestant states implausible, adding they have no basis in reality. So basically, they're calling Lindell and everyone everyone knows that it's a fact that their machines were corrupted and they were used to rig the election. Everyone knows that at this point. It's no big secret. But we have traitors in our government and in our entire election, the entire court system and everything they're traitors. They're treasonous. They won't hear it. They won't hear the evidence that way. Plausible deniability. They've all been paid off or bought off or blackmailed. So, but that's neither here nor there now. We'll see what happens on the 20th. DC is in complete lockdown and no one can figure out why. If it's just going to be an inauguration, you don't need 30,000 troops for that. You don't. You could have 1,000 there if they're worried that there's going to be some kind of attack or something. That would be sufficient. 30,000 if it's just for that, a little bit overkill. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But if I was the Democrats, I would be more worried that maybe they're going to lock them in there and arrest them all. But hey, who knows what's going to happen? I just put my trust in God now, and I don't have any faith in any man whatsoever. But all of you guys know that pretty much. Jesus Christ is the only way for salvation. Don't trust any man or have any faith in any human being, because there's nothing. Men are evil at heart. Human beings are evil, especially unsaved people, because you don't have the Holy Spirit and you can be influenced very easily and corrupted. So, but there is a 30-minute video, 34 minutes. Actually, there's 2 parts. I'm going to include both parts after my video. So this entire video will be, probably over an hour long. But that's totally optional if you want to go ahead and listen to the hour, which I'm going to include both these parts from Right Side Media, part 1 and 2. So if you want to watch the entire interview with Mike Lindell, he's a very animated guy. He really likes to express himself. So he's a really fun guy to watch. He's a very outspoken. So I'd watch part of it. It's a really fun interview, and he's a very outspoken man, so it's kind of cool watching him respond to some of the questions and everything. And he's a good guy. You can tell that he's a good guy at heart, and he's a patriot. So, but I just wanted to give this to you. The article link will be in the description, as always. Just wanted to say, if you can donate, please do. Right now, I have no income except for my channel and through donations. So I'm putting all my faith in God, and I'm giving the glory to God in every video that I do. All glory to God. If you can afford to donate a little bit, that would be wonderful. This is all I do now. So it's do or die here. If not, God, I'm speaking God's word now. I'm doing the gospel the best I can. I'm putting Jesus' name out there. We all know Jesus died for our sins. I'm giving him all the glory because he sealed my salvation, and I want to thank him for that. And he's blessed me, and I want to thank him for that. And I'm doing that by preaching his word. I feel in my heart that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm going to do it. And if they shut me down here, if I get kicked out of my place to live, if I can't pay my bills and everything, then I'll hit the streets and I'll preach on street corner. It doesn't matter. I got a Bible, so that's fine. So yeah, but if you guys can donate anything, I'm totally reliable. I mean, I'm totally dependent on donations now. So if you feel in your heart, if God puts it on your heart that you can afford a few dollars, that'd be wonderful if you can donate. So, but God bless everyone. Like I said, I will include the hour total. I think it's total hours worth of video for the interview for Mike Lindell, where he talks more about this and everything and about what happened. He met with Trump and all that. So he'll talk about that. But God bless, and you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
We are joined once again by Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow.com, on this Monday, a very busy Monday in our nation's capital. Now, let's kind of recap yesterday. You joined us, talked about your visit last week in the White House with President Trump for a few minutes. You got a little bit of pushback from what you had to say. What has happened since then, since Friday? And you just got off a couple phone calls earlier today. Let's talk about that.
You know, it's kind of the same thing that everybody's hearing out there. There's so many things you want to believe, and then there's so many things that you don't want to believe, and so there's all these stories. I wish I had one that was for sure, but what I will tell you for sure is there is 100% evidence that China and other countries took our whole election. That's 100%. I've seen it. I have access to it, and I will tell everyone, I will not quit until this is all seen by every single person in this country and the world. And, you know, I want everyone to know that there's no statute of limitations on this kind of crime. This is a crime against humanity. This is a crime against every person. I don't care what you are, Democrat, Republican, or even if you're in another country, because everything it's going to happen here is going to affect the rest of the world. And you even seen an article. There was an article came out from over in Italy or UK, wasn't it? I'm not sure. Yeah, and they're telling that what can happen here in the aftermath if it would go down this dark path of a
new world order, Mike, a new global association. Right.
And that's the people behind it. This wasn't just one country. There's like 6 or 7 countries on there. And I wanted, since we talked last time, another piece of the puzzle came in. This guy came to me. Now you've got to realize that there were so many groups out there, lawyers and groups on the ground doing different things, trying to uncover this fraud. It wasn't just the administration's people, you know, the campaign people. And it seemed like I became their hope. So these guys came to me 4 days ago, and this guy is a genius. I've never seen anything like it. Showed me this presentation of what he did for 2 months. He dug into the algorithms inside the machines, how they did this. And it shows timestamps in there of what you take this wheel and turn it, and it shows it's 100% forensic proof that this happened. And it's proved by mathematics. And I have a background in mathematics, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, but this guy's way beyond. So anybody that's seen this that was a cyber specialist, whatever, look at this and go, wow. Okay, just in Georgia, in Fulton County alone, 26,000 votes that he has right there. Okay, now that's just in that county. Okay, so now he doesn't know who did it or whatever. This just shows you don't need to know that. You just know that this 100% that it happened. The other piece that we have that I brought to the president, those things, they actually have timestamps. Who did it? Let's say it was China. What time it happened? How many votes were flipped? The IP addresses of the computers and the latitude and longitude of where it was. So, this is why I'm excited. I'm not using. I can't. God's in control here, and I can't count what's going to happen. I'd love to be able to tell you all. You know what? This happened. The election was stolen. The hope is that it's God's timing on this. And look how much got revealed. What if they would have did? I want to put everyone here. We're going to go a different route here for a second. I said on the first episode on 11:15. The miracle of this election is on January 3rd, about 11:15 at night. Donald Trump, because of the great job he did and the American people that all voted for him, so many more votes came in than they expected. They had to stop everything and recalibrate those machines. And that math guy showed me what they did with that wheel. Okay, they turned this, and you've all heard that thing. The guy over in Italy. That's the stuff is true. But they, so that's just one guy, though. We don't know how many people actually did the mechanisms to do all this. Well, anyway, that happened. If that didn't happen, we would have all went to, 3:00, the whole election would have been done. Oh, Donald Trump made it close, but Biden won because of mail-in voting, because of that, because that was the theory that, boy, if you mail in votes, any Republican's going to lose, right?
Mhm.
But that's not the case here. The case is they got caught, so they had to cheat more. Now, I want to say that during this whole time, that on each state, that the reason that the machine things weren't concentrated on is because you had right away all these other kind of the dead people that voted. You had the minors, you had the non-residents, you had the ballot fraud, the using ballots from China. You had all these different fraud. So any one of them, in a normal world we live in, you take like Arizona, you take the dead people and the non-residents, and you win Arizona. Okay, in Georgia, you take 2 silos of that and you win Georgia. Same thing in Wisconsin. So you got these states, but the thing is, they didn't look at that, and they said, oh, it's okay if you have that many dead people voting that. But here's what that manifested to. What if that wouldn't have happened and they would have said, you know what? This state goes to this goes to this. Donald Trump would have won there, yes, but we would have never found out the biggest problem in history to the whole world, and that's these machines.
Mhm.
Because now that it got to late in December and then into January, when all this came out about 10 days ago, that was revealed, and everybody's exciting trying to get this and say, hey, we got them, but you know what? There's no statute of limitations here. So when everybody sees this, it's going to go, if the Supreme Court looks at this, they're going to go, wow, this is the biggest attack on our nation and the world in history. And when we get through this, no matter what happens now, the good thing that will happen is we know that this, it's there, and we can never have machine voting again in history for the whole world. All these machines were online.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got millions of people that are probably asking this question and asking it out loud. Mike, where do we go from here? We've got all this evidence. You've done so much time in digging all of this up and presenting it to the people in the White House, and the president has it. But where do we go from here? We got 48 hours before a new world order kicks in. So right. Is there hope? Does President Trump have an ace up his sleeve before Wednesday?
I can honestly say, I don't know. I didn't ask him that when I was in the White House. He's our commander in chief. He's here to protect our nation. And we would hope that, everyone knows what a great president he's been. And he's been there for us. He's fought and fought and fought and fought. Now, did this come to him too late? It's never too late, because they already told him, well, you know what? It's okay if dead people vote. It's okay if, minors vote. It's okay if people in prisons vote. It's okay if non-residents vote. It's okay if you use fake ballots from China. So that had to be so frustrating for him. But this stuff comes in late, and now it was an attack by another nation and nations. So what he's going to do with that, you got to protect. His job is to protect our nation. So I don't know, and I don't know. There was a lawyer that sent a list with me of, because we're in an anomaly in history, and they were suggestions, but he didn't get a chance to look at that. And we went upstairs, and it ended up that I'm sure he knows his options, whatever she put down in there, he knows his options now, and we can only pray. Everybody pray. Everyone here that I know that's out there that uncovered stuff, that went out there and worked night and day from November 4th on, like your Sidney Powell. I was just on the phone with Sidney an hour ago before I came on. She wanted to let everybody know she's just like me. We will guarantee one thing: we're never going to stop fighting to get this evidence exposed, because it's going to get out there. I don't care how long or how many days or whatever. And when it gets out there, you guys, there's no statute of limitations. You can't, if you say, hey, this is a invalid president. I mean, there is that. Now, how much, if I'm speculative, how much damage could they do before that comes out and everything's stopped or whatever has to happen? We don't
Right.
even know what would do then. I don't know that, but I think everybody right now, get in prayer. God's got his hand in this. You guys got to see the miracle of this is where this is going to, in the long run, this is going to save not just the United States, but the world. If we don't have elections, we don't have anything. Communism,
Right.
everything, socialism takes over. Isn't it great that our president was such a strong president that he got more votes than what evil expected? That's a beautiful thing,
Okay, let's talk about your business. Cancel culture is in full effect. We've seen this from day one since you stepped out. You shared that story with our viewers yesterday when you had that first meeting with the president. But what is happening now to MyPillow and the attacks you're getting across the internet to boycott your business?
Well, let me tell you, this is why we know we're right over the target with this new evidence. I've been attacked before many times. I was attacked last summer with the myoleander.com with that oleander thing that on Anderson Cooper, myoleander.com. Well, when I did that, I was attacked and lost about 3 businesses because what they are, these are bots and trolls. This is a group that just goes out they get hired actually to go out and attack businesses on social media and everything. Well, this one is different. Magnify that by 20-fold. I have one of the worst, I found out yesterday, I made it to the top. It's called Sleeping Giant, sleepinggiant.com, whatever. They're a watchdog group that claim to be, they're out of Silicon Valley, the most evil people on the planet. And these guys get hired and they're attacking not only MyPillow, many other companies out there, but they're attacking my vendors. They go to people. I just got off the phone with Bed Bath & Beyond. They're dropping MyPillow. Just got off the phone, not 5 minutes ago. Kohl's, all these different places. So you know what? If you're out there, maybe these guys don't understand. They're scared, like a Bed Bath & Beyond. They're scared. We are good partners. In fact, I told them, you guys come back anytime you want. But it's not their fault that they're scared because they don't realize these are fake people that are on there going, if we're gonna boycott your store if you don't drop MyPillow. And they're so anyone out there counter to it. You could go in there. I told them, I said, you know what? Since Friday, my business direct sale, I'm up 30-40% because everyone gets behind these attacks. And if you're a business owner out there, don't believe in those little bots and trolls. This is the evil left. This is the evil, crazy left, deep state or whatever it is. This isn't a politician thing of Democrat, Republican. This is what part of the thing attacking our country. This is the communism coming in basically, and they hired the best to attack us. And I have friends of mine that they're getting they've been gone after by the machine people. These Dominion, these SOS, SAS machines or whatever. They're threatening to or they did. I think they're going after. But you know what? That's great. I welcome them to come after me because I got all the evidence. Then we'll finally see it, right?
Absolutely. Well, I think we should call. I think that's a great call for action for all of our viewers right now. If you do not like what you're hearing, if you do not want to see Mike Lindell, a true patriot, get attacked by these trolls and have these spineless CEOs for these companies shut him out of the stores, I want everyone to write, call, send an email to these stores and demand that MyPillow is brought back on the shelves or you won't shop there anymore. I think we need to turn this around. There's a lot of power in the conservative mindset when it comes to consumerism.
And that's Bed Bath & Beyond. That's HEB, Kohl's, Costco, the shopping channel in Canada, Wayfair, Zulily. I mean, the list goes on, but there's some big ones. The big ones would be your HEBs, your Bed Bath & Beyond, and your Kohl's. And I think these guys need to know that these are bots and trolls. If you're out there and you're a shopper of those stores, you're going to lose this just because of some evil entity telling them that you're going to boycott them. They're not. Yeah. They don't even shop there because they're not a real person. I told the CEO and the one thing of the CMO, I said, why don't you go down there open them up and see that they only have 2 friends. They're not real. They
Right.
have 2 friends, the guy sitting next to him and the guy sitting to the left of him. Sometimes they have 5 because they're in a big room. They sit in a big room all day long. These guys get paid to do this. It's
Yeah.
horrible. You know,
It is horrible. Yeah,
and
and
like,
you've been so gracious with our viewers, giving the discount codes RSBN
yeah,
and getting up to 66% off. So I want to encourage everybody right now, if you do not have a MyPillow, please go and support, because as you said before, certain proceeds from sales that you guys get come back to help RSBN and all of the efforts that we do here.
yeah, 50%, you guys. This is of all the stations. Look at RSBN. They have stood by us all. I'm so proud of this station, and half the proceeds. So if you buy, you know, we're in the fight. RSBN and Mike Lindell. I'm out there. I'm using all my money that for these sales to fight this. I've got millions of dollars since November 4th of my own money, just putting it out there because I want to save our country. I want to save our country, our republic, and it's a great deal, up to 66% off all my products now, up to, because we have a lot of new products too. Bathrobes, we have beds out, our brand new beds coming out. I mean, all these great things. So it's not like we're just selling pillows. We have 110 products now. I just found out today.
Okay. Just reading some notes here we got from some viewers. You answered one earlier about Sydney Powell. You've been communicating with her, so she's obviously still on board, right? We can check that off.
Yeah. Sydney's been hard to reach. She's been working night and day. Her and I talk at least twice a day. I kind of go around the loop and talk to every people out there, but she said to tell everyone she promises she is going to keep fighting until everybody knows about this machine fraud and that other countries took this election from us. And that's my promise to everybody too. There is no way do we get down? Well, sure, we get down like everyone, because I'm going, and I had to tell Cindy, we live with no fear. We only fear the Lord. And that's all we can do. And we keep doing, if there's something else that comes in, I do it. We're proactive. We keep trying to get out ahead of this, but because of all the stuff that was done that wasn't normal, things fell behind, because when you find all fraud of everything else, you expect a judge to say, wow, that was illegal. Let's take these guys out. Yes, Donald Trump wins this state, this state, this state. But that didn't happen. So now all of a sudden, and the machines at one time were going, everybody knew they were off, or at least a lot of people did. When I first heard about them, I did my own math. On November 4th, and I said, this is mathematically impossible, or improbable, for sure, improbable, close to impossible. And then I got this guy 4 days ago, he brought it in 100% impossible, and not just so, I just want everyone to know that this exposed, if you think of it as God's plan, this exposed so much evil, so much self-serving people, so much people that do politics for their own agenda in both parties. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't know anything about politics, but politicians, I mean, you could really judge them. There's very few that are righteous, and I'm serious. It's that's what our president. I think that's what they feared, that he was such a going in there to, when they said drain the swamp. Now I know what he meant, boy. But that swamp was deep.
That swamp was deep. Another question I see here, and it came up multiple times. Do you fear for your safety, your personal safety, Mike? I mean, you're putting yourself out there. You were here in D.C. That's just, a lot of people want to know, Mike, do you feel safe?
Yeah, I do, but only because of the Lord. I put on a cloak of armor every day, and I pray, and if I lived in fear, that's the problem that these bots and trolls and everybody has with me, because I'm not changing. You know what? If you read my story, I've had guns to my head back when I was into crack cocaine. I've had swords to my throat, and God protected me then, and he's sure going to protect me now when I'm doing the right thing.
Correct. Okay. They also want to get your thoughts on all the military presence here in D.C. Now, obviously, I've been walking around the last 3 days showing all of the security measures here. What's your take on all the the military setup here.
You know, that's the wild card. I can't even explain because it doesn't make sense if you know. I've heard, is it going to be like a virtual reality if this fake inauguration? I don't know. There's so many. You hear so many things, and so why would you need that military presence? You know, I mean, this is just, there's a lot of stuff going on that
Right.
is unexplainable. So you can't. Do I have a hotline? Could I make, you know, make up a scenario? There's only, to me, there's only four scenarios that you could go by, and everybody knows what they are. But you know, the one is that, did they just call in that much security because of there's gonna, you know, people think it's that they won, and other people here think that they won. You got two sides. You got to realize there's still people over here that are Democrats that really believe they won. So, you know, and we over here, there's just a few over here that really believe we lost. So you got two sides. Somebody won and somebody lost. And this has been what the American people, what the world wants to see. Show us the evidence. No one's ever been able to see what we have. Can't you just open up and say, you know, okay, here's this state. We can show everything that went on, pile this, and this. And then we look at it, and if I'm a Democrat, I want to know too, did another country steal our election? What if it happened to you? And then there's a lot of Democrats over here that are very fearful that they voted for something that they didn't mean to vote for. They voted for a socialist communist thing coming in rather than a Democrat party that they thought was maybe a traditional Democrat, or, you know. And that's sad because they didn't even get, your vote didn't matter, people. Your vote did not matter. I've seen it. China and 4 or 5 other countries stole this election from everybody.
Okay. Lately, there's been a huge, call for those Republicans that did not stand up for Trump during the impeachment and maybe voted for impeachment. What accountability should they have? I mean, we've got primaries coming up here shortly. What's your thoughts on getting rid of every Republican that did not have Donald Trump's back?
Oh, they'll never win again. Are you kidding? Lindsey Graham is shameful what he did. Shameful. And I can say that because I know Lindsey Graham. When he said in there, yeah, Donald Trump, we had a good run. 6,000 dead people. I couldn't even find 10. We got the list of the dead people, birth certificates, pictures of the gravestones, and death certificates. Lindsey, you lied to the American people. And there was a lot like him. You start with your Brian Kemp's, your Doug Ducey's, all your state legislatures in all these states. They let the American people down, not just one party. They let everybody down. Nobody will ever trust any one of them again, ever. But you know what? You've got to start with these corrupt machines. You've got to protect us against a foreign power. And that's what has to be done. But then you're right. Then you got to go down and look at what happened. Look what happened. How did this get past all these levels that were put in our Constitution to look at this and say, you get to one judge, I'm not going to look at the fraud. Get to the next one, I'm not going to look at the fraud. You get to all these legislators, I don't think there's any fraud. Give me a break. When you got a list of I want to say the example. This is the one I just don't get, which everybody should listen to, that 1 hour show, or 1 hour thing where the president talked to the Secretary of State in Georgia. On that call, he said, the president goes, now I don't know the exact numbers, so I'm gonna try and get close. So in Georgia, the president goes, so wait a minute, he's looking at things. We got 8,000 dead people. We've got 7,000 minors, 8,000 people that don't even live in Georgia, 8,000 duplicate votes. So these are solid numbers. And he said, just give us any 2 of these and we win Georgia, because it was 11,730 votes. That's not counting the machines, right, or anything. And the Secretary of State goes, those are the wrong numbers. And the president goes, well, where'd we get these numbers from? And his own person said, sir, we got them from the Secretary of State's office. So he said that to the Secretary of State. He said, well, if they're the wrong numbers, give us the real ones. And then Donald Trump's person, he goes, we've been trying to get them, sir, for 2 months from these guys. They won't give it to us. So if you are out there and everyone out there, This is what went on in just about every single state. You got Nevada, you got 30 some thousand people that you have to live in Nevada for 30 days. 30 some thousand people, or whatever the number was, voted that didn't even live there. I mean, so I always compare it to there's a movie I think I did on the first time we were on the show. It just reminded me of this movie called Big Daddy, and this little kid's playing cards with the pizza man, and the pizza man says, "I got a full house, aces over tens," and the kid goes, "I got a 10, a 4, a 3, an 8, and a 2. I win." And the guy goes, "Well, what do you mean this wins?" He goes, No, I win. You know, I just can't. It's not reality when you show this and you go, "Hey, this is a hand, everybody." It means we didn't have a good election. And everyone goes, "Yeah, you're right. But guess what? We're going to just move on." It was the weirdest thing. But like I say, it's almost a good thing, because it's going to expose the big thing that we would have never, ever been able to beat, because these things are embedded in these machines that they were built to cheat. They were built to steal elections. And I can say this, you guys, I'm not making this up because I've heard it on some Facebook or something. That's right. Why when this thing came out, and I talked to the guy that's got the stuff too. I talk to him almost every day. So I've seen stuff. I've done the guy with the, I've seen all the evidence. This guy over here that did the mathematic thing, I went through that with him for 5 hours. 5 hours, county by county, going, this is incredible. You know, what they did and how broad this was. Well, you know, once it's just a matter of getting it out there for, you know, to see. The Supreme Court right now, if the Supreme Court, if you justices see this, I mean, just look at Sidney Powell's got 5 cases, I believe, before the Supreme Court right now. And when I was on the phone with her, she goes, I said, "Well, what do you think they're going to do with them?" She goes, "It wouldn't surprise me if they just throw them out, but you know, just throw them out and not look at them, and they're not supposed to do this stuff. They're to protect the country too. But if they open them up, if they do open them up, it's going to be a 9-0 vote, because it's so blatant. It's like, hey, is this a white holder?" And everyone's going, "Yeah, I hate to say it, but it really is." And then they're going to go, "Wow, this was an attack on our country." This makes, you know, the attacks we've had on our country before, you know, that Pearl Harbor, what did that manifest to? If that hadn't happened, tragic as it was, we probably wouldn't be talking, because that got us involved in a war that would have been lost because we were waiting too long to get involved. 9/11, when 9/11 happened, what happened after that? We became secure. Our airports became secure, more security than ever, because if we didn't have that, we'd have terrorists walking into our cities with a suitcase and blowing up the city. So security got great. So when you know, all the bad people, everything's getting revealed, you know, I want everybody out there to give this hope, because it is, God, you can just look and say the odds. Do you know the odds of every state not saying, "Okay, we're just not going to talk about our dead people and all this stuff"? Those odds, that almost like is a miracle in itself, because it revealed these machines 10 days ago. And so I'm very happy, hopeful, because you know what? How this plays out, the aftermath down the road will be the best thing in history for us and the world, for our children, our grandchildren. This is the turning point in history where this is where evil versus good, this spiritual warfare, it's higher now than I think any time it could be ever. I don't know. I don't know. But it's amazing. Yeah.
It's definitely good versus evil. Mike Lindell, My Pillow. We remind everybody, if you want to support all of our efforts here at RSBN, well, you can do that by having a good night's sleep on a My Pillow. Go to mypillow.com, mypillow.com, click away and shop. Because I feel like at this point, when you click, you're clicking for conservative values, and you're supporting all of Mike's effort, and obviously all of our effort here at RSBN, and you're just a true patriot. All right, one last thing. What is your final message for the president? If he watches this video right now, this is going to be pushed out today. What's your message to our president?
My message to the president is, we know 100%, and he does too, that this has been an attack by China and other countries. And as a commander in chief, we voted you in, number one, to protect us against an attack on our country. And this is the biggest attack ever. All of our businesses that are being attacked now, can you imagine what it's going to be afterwards if he lets this happen? I mean, churches are being attacked now. Look what they've done to social media. They're just shutting us down. That's what they do. That's what they did in Germany. You just shut down the media, or any of these states, from Iran to North Korea. You shut down the communications and the social media, the mainstream media. So our prayers are with you, Mr. President. We pray that God, pray to God that you will get, make the great decisions, And I always want to say is, Mr. President, we love you. You've done everything you've done for us. Everything. We have never had the best president in the history of the planet. And I just, I'm praying. Obviously that's why he's president. He knows more than we do. And,
absolutely. And we want to remind our viewers, when they go to your website, to put in the RSBN promo code, RSBN, for that discount that we talked about earlier, and also to help the conservative values here that we have. Well, we've got 48 hours, I guess, that our president will be in the White House. I know that he's scheduled to exit on Wednesday. We have a crew there in West Palm Beach that will take his arrival there. We're still working on trying to cover his departure here from the White House. But hey, Mike, I get this question asked 100 times a day. I still think there's a 2 to 3% chance Donald J. Trump remains in that White House past Wednesday for whatever reason happens, and whatever God has planned for this great country and this great president. That's just my personal thoughts. I got to go with it.
Yeah. And I want everyone out there to keep the prayers up and for our president. But I will say this: 100% the truth will be revealed. And when it is, we don't know what happens then. So, I don't want everyone out there being so depressed that, okay, what if nothing gets done? And this guy, that's not that inauguration then would be a null and void. I mean, it's not even real when it was done under suspicion. But then when this is revealed, and it will be, I give everybody my promise, it will be. We didn't come all this way, and God didn't do, fighting evil to lose. This is going to be amazing. And it's also going to lead to the biggest revival in history, because everyone's going to see the biggest miracle. And people on the left and the right and the liberal and the conservative, everyone around the world is going to see the miracle of this if they look at the pieces I've just laid out. Because if everyone out there says, wow, just think if this wouldn't have happened and we would have never known about these machines, you guys, then every vote we ever made in our lives and every vote any other country made was made by a machine, by a guy that decides who's going to win or lose. And you decide which direction you're taking, who's more corrupt, and whose IT guys are better than their IT guys. So yeah, I'm very, 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 very faithful, hopeful, and it's going to be amazing.
I talked about this yesterday when I was near the Capitol. I told everybody to fall and find comfort in God right now, in the Bible right now. If someone's watching us and perhaps they've never been spiritual, perhaps they've fallen away from God, what is your message to them to come back and seek peace within the scripture?
Well, that's, I said that last spring, and it fits now more than ever, from the Rose Garden. I said, now is the time. You're looking for get back in the Word, get in the Bible, get on your knees, surrender to Jesus, put it in His hands, and you will have a peace that passes all understanding. I mean, it's just going to be amazing peace, and we will become once again one nation under God. And down the road, we'll put God back into our schools, and I just look at the future. It's just going to be amazing, and you can't, we're in the dark, but there is light, and that light is Jesus. And you get in that Bible and you get on your knees today, and everybody pray, and we'll get through this, and it's going to be amazing. It really is.
Mike Lindell, My Pillow, we certainly appreciate your time. We love you here at Right Side Broadcasting, and of course, millions of people watching us right now appreciate everything you've done for this president, for this country. And hey, a lot of people are sleeping better because of you, right?
That's right. God bless
Even
you
our
guys.
dogs, right? Even our dogs.
Right
are
on.
sleeping better.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, God bless you, and perhaps we can do this. Who knows what happens tonight? Well, maybe we get together tomorrow and recap.
I'll come. Yep, I'll come back tomorrow. I like to keep everybody. We got to. Everybody. We're all together in this. Right, left. It doesn't matter. We're under attack, and we need daily. We need to all inspire each other. So,
Yes, sir. All right. Until next time. Goodbye. God bless, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Lindell joining us now via Zoom. Mike, I know one question everyone has on their mind right now. Why was the MyPillow guy at the White House visiting our president?
Well, about 8-9 days ago, as you know, I've been looking down every hole of election fraud since November 4th. And about 8 or 9 days ago, this proof came out, 100% footprints from the machines, the machine fraud. And it went all over the internet just for about this company released it, this media outlet released it. It went out there for about, maybe 15 minutes, and everybody got their Facebook shut down. This stuff got deleted off the internet. They got their whole website shut down. So I wanted to give it to the president and say, hey, this is it. This shows that Joe Biden lost 79 million votes for Donald Trump and 68 million for Joe Biden. And I wanted to get it to the president.
What was his reaction when you presented this information to him? Obviously, this is something that you've been talking about for a long time, such as some other media outlets as well. But what was his reaction to it?
Well, I just had a sampling of it because that's all they put out there. But I said, I've talked to the guy. This is real. I said, it's got the IP address of where the computer that it came out of. It also has the latitude and longitude, like over in China, where this went over there and came back, and it shows the number of votes flipped. And he was very intrigued looking at it. And he goes, and then when I told him he really won by, this, he goes, yeah, it's like we all knew that, right?
So walk me through the rest of the day when the lawyers escorted you upstairs. What happened at that point?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was the security advisor, Robert O'Brien. He brings me upstairs, and the president said, "Bring him up to lawyers. Let's talk. Show him this, and then come back down." And so I get back up there, and I wait in this little room, and then they come out and they said, "We got to bring you back downstairs." They bring me back downstairs, and I get down there, and I wait about 10 minutes, and the gal comes down, and she says, "Oh, it's going to be about 2 hours, and it's basically we're not going to have time to look at this." And I said, "No, the president told me I would to go up there and come back and tell him, that to get their opinion on this." And so I said, "You just tell the lawyers I'll wait them out, And so that's when I went outside the White House, actually, out there to make a phone call, and that's when all the media hit with these pictures that I had the stuff in my hand, which I was now bringing up to the lawyers because the president just briefly looked at the stuff, and because an attorney had given me papers too to bring to him. I get stuff all the time of people, "Hey, can you bring him this? Can you bring him this?" And finally, I had this meeting. Well, I went back upstairs then. She came down about 25 minutes later, so it wasn't 2 hours magically. And I went back upstairs, and I sat down with these guys, the two, and the one lawyer, he's kind of just all upset with me. He goes, "You got a little boisterous in the lobby there telling, because," and I said, "Well, you were trying to push me off. I need, this is serious." And the guy goes, "Well, this is a matter of national security." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, you can sit down with these two guys." Or it was a gal and a guy. Sit down with them, and I show them all this. I show them, "Look at this. You can see who did it on their computer, how many votes were flipped." And in fact, I put a page of this out over the internet yesterday. Well, this is just a sample. I said there's thousands of pages, and they're looking at it like, "Okay, are you done talking now?" And I'm going, "Okay, any comments or questions?" And they're all going, "Yeah, we can get back to you on this. We'll check into this." But it was like, "What do you mean you'll check into this? This is an attack on our country by China and other countries that did this to us." And I said, "This isn't," I told the one person, said, this isn't even about Donald Trump anymore. I said, this is about, elections going forward. If our whole country isn't stolen from us now, that we can never have machines that use internet and where you can switch them in hyperspace or in cyberspace. And they still looked at me with these blank looks on their faces, like, okay. And I get up and they said, well, we'll bring you back downstairs. And as she's bringing me down, I said, no, the president said, to come back in there. And she said, no, I don't think so. And I said, well, I'm going to wait here. I want you to at least check with them. And she went in there and came back out. She went in, not into obviously the Oval Office, but went in. She said, no, the guy that called you, he said, you're done. You're all done. So I left there with like a deflating feeling. And then all the stuff comes out on the internet because they took pictures outside. Mike Lindell wants this. Mike Lindell wants that. No, Mike Lindell wants the truth to be told to everyone in this country and everyone in the world, to show that this was the biggest election fraud and theft in the history of the world, as far as I'm concerned. When a person wins 79 million to 68 million, and you flip that to where this other guy that you can prove, and it's not even Democrat, Republican here. Everybody needs to know the truth. If I'm a Democrat and I voted for my guy, I want to know that he really won. Why are they hiding this? This has been a frustration since November 4th. Why are they hiding this? And it's not like I'm some guy going out there and going, oh, you know what? I read something on the internet. No, I have spent millions of dollars, my time from the November 4th, every single day, going out and supporting experts to go dig up evidence, supporting lawyers that are out there, supporting these guys in Georgia that had the machine that checked the ballots to see if the paper's real. We find out that they were all made in China. And then we got videotape of a crew I hired, videotaping them, shredding all the ballots and made in China and invoiced from China. These were, I just can't understand how right in front of you, you got hey, here's a hand. They go, no, that's not a hand. I go, yes, it's a hand. No, that's not a hand. I mean, it's one thing after another, but here is something that's critical to the rest of any voting election in history are these machines. They're corrupt. They built them to cheat. And now we have that, what we were waiting for before, when none of the lawyers would give us, or none of the judges would give us the machines to look in them. Well, we found this guy that actually has inside, here's all the prints that, and for every single vote made through those machines, he's got a footprint, where it came, when it went out, and then all these dumps. It's just terrible.
So I know, Mike, a lot of people watching this right now are asking, their next question is, what can we do? Where do we go from here? If you're getting so much resistance at the top level of our government, then where else can we turn to? Who's going to answer these questions for us?
I've been to the point. Well, I will say this: God's got his hand in all this, and all this stuff will be revealed. And the longer it goes on, you're finding more and more of the rats that pop their heads up, the evil. So when it does all get exposed, there's going to be so much that we know, that we have found out about people in politics on both sides, who's evil, who's not, who's got their own agenda, who doesn't. You're finding out. I think the whole America and the world is finding out what they've done. Look what they've done to suppress our president's voice. He's hidden from us. And all of people like myself, they've attacked my company. I have 2,000 jobs that are careers. They've attacked companies that I work with that have dropped me now because they're trying to cancel me out. They're trying to cancel companies now. Churches, friends of mine that have churches that back the president, that said good things. They've just been, attacked right now. And I told the president, think what's going to happen if we let this inauguration, if this goes through, all these people that supported our great president for all the great things he did, and these guys are attacking them. It's just, I can't even imagine, and what would be to come. And but it shows when you've got platforms like Mark Zuckerberg, or I call him Zuckerbuck from Facebook, and Jack Dorsey. These guys, for their own personal agendas, such evil that they, my own Twitter for 3 days They had somebody else running it from the inside. They had took it off Twitter, but I couldn't even take myself down, and somebody else was running it. They were tagging my post. It wasn't even me. Twitter was doing that. That's how corrupt these things are. Now, yesterday it got put up again when the story went all around the world. For some reason, they put it up again for about 2 hours. So I was able to quick post some of that evidence, and it's sitting there. I took a screenshot of it and put it up there, and then of course they took it down again.
Let's talk about real quickly. You were outside for a moment, and some photographers were able to get, I guess, some close-up snapshots of one of your folders, and I guess the rumor was one of them said Insurrection Act or martial law. You want to explain that for us real quickly?
Well, I walked out there, and like I said, I have 4 pages that I brought to the president, which was that evidence that for the big machine switch, and there was 2 pages from an attorney. Of all different attorneys bring me stuff, and they have suggestions to help the American people, and so that happened to be on the top. And what it said there is just stuff here. If you give him this, here's all his options he could do. Basically, it laid out all the options. It didn't say to do this. It was from an attorney saying, here's legally what he could do here, here, and here. One of the things the president really liked on there was Google, Facebook, Twitter. It said on there he has the authority to order them to put everybody's back intact in their Facebooks, their Twitters back. Because I told him, I said, my friends have lost their platforms that they rely on their livings. There's people that have podcasts that's their whole living. They built them up, and he turned to that Robert O'Brien and said, well, yeah, we could do this. And he goes, no, that would really upset people, the left. Upset the left. What do you mean upset the left? How would they like to get suppressed? Nobody wants to. I have people that are on the left that can't communicate with people. They don't even know what's going on. Right. It's very sad. But they took that picture outside, and then there was about 100 media people just came running, and I didn't say a thing. They're out there snapping pictures. I said, they go, Mike, can you tell us why we're here? And I go, you know what? You guys, I'm sure you guys will write something really nice.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about this. Yeah, they are like piranhas. Let's talk about the state of DC right now. I'm currently in DC. A lot of people, there was so much speculation. Why is there so much military here? Why is there so much barricades? I feel like now this is the biggest kabuki theater I've ever seen as far as a security presence in a city. I feel like this is the safest city in America right now. But I can only think that this is not because of a Joe Biden inauguration. There will be 3 people and a dog at that inauguration. But right. What is your sense of the presence of the military here? Is it a bit over the top, or are they just taking precautions to what could happen when they look back at what happened on January 6th?
I don't understand it. There's like 3 people and every other person's a military guy, yeah, it's definitely the safest city. I don't understand it. If it is all theatrics, I don't know. We've all had our prayers going, gee, maybe something's going to be done, that this president, will say, hey, we've been attacked by another country, because we have. Our country's been under attack for a long time.
And I think that's what people are thinking, Mike. I think people are hoping that this military presence is a response to what you just said.
That's exactly where that's where my hope lies. Now everyone says to me, well, did you ask the president? No, I didn't ask the president. They were giving me 5 minutes. I can't just go in there and say, hey, how's it going? Hey, what do you think you're going to do? And there was no time to ask that. I was giving him, as an American citizen, information, because it seems like none of his people out there brought the evidence up they just kept saying there's evidence that they didn't show the people. Mm-hmm. And by the time they shut everything down, it's too late. Everybody heard about the Italy affidavit, right? That this guy, that's true. These are things that I've also looked into. That's 100% true. I'm going, so why wouldn't we put that out there? This guy admitted he did it, and he's from another country. and everybody knows about it. So it's a frustration of 80 million people or 100 million. They say now it's close to 70 million or 70% of the people believe this was a fraudulent election. I 100% know. This is why I know, and I give people confidence. I believe there's no statute of limitations on something that happened like this. This is a crime against humanity, against our country, against all people in this world. Whether I don't care what side of politics you're on. When this comes out, and it will. That's one thing that God showed me. It's going to come out, and when it does, where do all the chips fall? You can't have an illegitimate president in there that even if they're going to go, sorry, what do we do? You have a new election with paper ballots, and because you can never use machines again ever. My prayer is that there's 5 cases before the Supreme Court. Now we've been waiting on them. If they look at with evidence that I've seen, it is so black and white that the Supreme Court justices are going to vote 9-0 and say, this is attack against our country. And all of them should vote, it should be 9-0. Now, if you had that kind of a statement from the Supreme Court, now you got to all sit back and go, hey, if this was an attack on our country, we all need to revote or do something because it's an anomaly. And I don't know what the answers are. Now, this lawyer gave bullet by bullet of what legally the president could do, what legal things he could do or what his options were. Because I think a lot of these options, I'm telling you right now, have been suppressed by people around him in that White House. They don't give him all the options. And I know that back from one of the attorneys I worked with that I've helped out is Sidney Powell. And she's been, everyone knows she was in there, and these attorneys that she got in an argument with and Robert O'Brien, get an argument with them going, you guys don't get it. This is an attack on our country. And they labeled her a conspiracy theory conspiracy theory. Well,
yeah.
That's wrong. And I can tell everybody, I'm not relying on Sidney. I'm not relying on General Flynn, who I talk to all the time. I'm not relying on all these other people. I'm relying on what I've personally seen with my own eyes. I look at deviations every single day, thousands and thousands of radio stations and TV. If I see a TV station do $1,000 and normally it does $200, I go, why did that happen? I don't just go, oh, good day. I find out why it happened, who did it, how it happened, and I find out why the deviation happened. So what I've done for all these weeks and months now is went down these everything. Is this truth or true or false? And I find out the hard evidence. Well, when this thing came out about 2 weeks ago, it's been around, but nobody, obviously they've suppressed it. And when it came out, I'm going, wow, finally the president can show the public, here we have an attack on another country to our nation. And whether the left was behind it or not, I mean, we all believe that there was a lot of other cheating going on, which I know that's factual too. Here's what I want to say one more thing here about this.
Sure.
If you got like Georgia, the president got on that call with that crooked Secretary of State down there. And I can say that because he is. He's crooked. There's something wrong there. Okay. He gets on the phone, and let's just take the machine fraud out for a second. Now let's talk about what the president said. Well, we have a list here. I don't know. I pick a number. 8,000 dead people voted. Proven. We got these numbers. Let's say 8,000 people underage voted. 8,000 people that don't live there. I'm just throwing numbers out there. 10,000. Now, any two of them is higher than the 11,730 votes that he lost Georgia by. So he says this to the Secretary of State. We all heard it around the country. And he says, well, those numbers are wrong. And the president says, well, what are the numbers and where did we get these numbers? He asked his guy, and the guy goes, we got them from the Secretary of State's office. And he goes, we got them from you guys. And the guy goes, well, they're still wrong. He goes, well, when can we get the true numbers? And he goes, and then Donald Trump's guy says, he goes, we've been trying to get them for 2 months, sir. They won't give them to us. And then the president says, can we look at Fulton County? No, you can't. This is beyond belief. It's like that. There's a movie out once where this kid's playing cards with this guy. I think it's Big Daddy or something. And they're playing a game, and the guy's got a 2, a 4, a 6, a 5, and a jack. The other guy's got a full house. He says, I win. I got a full house. He goes, no, I win. He shows his hand. He goes, no, my hand beats yours. He goes, no, I win. No, I win. I mean, it's beyond comprehension. And they use media to brainwash everyone in this country to their narrative. And that's what happened to us. But like I say, you can't hide this. I don't care how much they corrupt the media. I don't know, and take away our platforms. There's 100 million people here that know that our nation's been stolen.
Mike, let's talk about your business real quickly. Cancel culture is in full swing. A lot of people, they try to troll you online, but we've seen what happens when conservative businesses are targeted. There is a huge support for conservative business and people like yourself that step out in your faith. Let's talk about your business and how it has skyrocketed since you've really partnered up with the president.
Right. Every time, everybody knows I've been attacked all the way from the first time I met the president. First time I met him was the summer of 2016, private meeting. Nobody was in there. I didn't know anything about politics. I was an ex-crack cocaine addict, right? I walk in there and we start talking. He goes, Mike, you always wear your cross on TV. I said, yes, Mr. Trump, and this is a divine appointment. We talked about, we talked about bringing the jobs back. He says, you always have your, Made in America, Mike, and your jobs. And I talked to him about my addiction, and I was going to have this big platform to bring people from addiction, to bring them to the Lord. And he goes, I'm going to stop the drugs pouring in. But we had this amazing conversation. I get out of there, I go, he's going to be the greatest president ever. And I talked to his employees, and they all said the same thing, that he's great boss, great man, and helped him out, personally helped him out. I got back to Minnesota, and here was my first taste of something I had never seen before. The evil sprouted its head. I put a press release out and said, hey, I met Donald Trump. He's running for president. Obviously, everybody knew it was August 15, 2016. And I put it out there. I had a private, didn't even tell him what we talked about or what my beliefs were. And it was crickets. And then the attack started. They called me a racist. They called me everything. I'm going, what did I do? Well, I knew I was on the right path then, I'll tell you that. And from that point on, every time that I got attacked, my business would go up anywhere from 10 to 30%, because here's my theory. Everybody on the right buys more, okay? They buy more of the conservative, they buy more to support the cause. If you're righteous, okay? If it's a right thing, they're gonna support you. And here's the thing, it's the big lie. These boycotts, the people over here, they still buy the products. They'll go, it's these bots and trolls and these media that control the narrative and go, you look at my Twitter now, it's like, if you go down Twitter and you look at it, it says, I was going to buy 1,000 pillows, but I hate your guts now and I'm not buying them. You know what? And you click on there, he's got 2 friends. Yeah. Okay. It's a bot. It's not real. Every single, when the bots and trolls come out, it's a joke, and then other people, they don't get that. You need to open it up. It's not a real. But the narrative, as you go down and read it, and you're reading this, what a terrible person. You look on there now, I'm everything under the sun today. Everything you could think of, they're calling me, they're attacking me. Here's the one problem though. The one problem is there's companies out there that don't get it. So who's ever running their social media and their pressure, we're going to boycott your store if you sell to Mike Lindell, if you sell his product. And that's the scary part, where they can take away your thing. And I will tell you right now, I had 2 companies do that. It hasn't happened to me, but 2 companies did that. And for my own, they've always been good companies, not like Target, who's the worst company I've ever seen in my life. The stuff they've done to me and done to others. And I can say that because I have a personal experience with. But these other companies, they both dropped out. But guess what? My other part of my business shot up,
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act. But I got to tell everyone out there, this is a time where we cannot back down. You can't say, oh, Donald Trump? Let's get to the point. Hey, I seen one day you said something good about him, so now we're going to attack you and your family. This is a time where everyone can't take this anymore. We cannot let that happen.
Yeah, I was thinking about a hashtag just the other day, hashtag I am Trump, because they can try to cancel Trump out of our culture or erase what he's done in the history books, but they cannot cancel 80 million people, Mike. So maybe you and I, hashtag we are Trump, right?
Right. Right. Absolutely. We are Trump. Yes.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate your time today. And you have been a patriot for this company. You have been a great partner. And I want to remind everybody watching us right now to go to mypillow.com, mypillow.com. If you got something crappy for Christmas and you don't like it, hey, buy yourself something great. And also, don't forget to put that promo code RSBN in checkout and get up to 66% off. You've been so gracious to offer that to all of our viewers, and we appreciate that over the years.
Well, I want to say something there. You know, with you guys have been such a great voice for everybody, for all the conservatives, for everybody out there that have this money. I know we're taking and putting it back to RSBN, to Right Side Broadcast Network. This is you got everyone out there. Of all the networks I've dealt with, this is the best. I mean, and I support them. You're supporting them. We have all the new products out there too, from bathrobes to. We have 110 products now at MyPillow, and you can get savings up to 66% off with that promo code RSBN. And it goes to my money. You know where my money is going. I'm pouring my money in until I give everybody my word. I am going to keep fighting till every bit of evidence of what happened in this election is shown to us and the world. So this never, ever happens again, that some machine is used to lie to us, and a country can come and attack us in cyber warfare.
Mike Lindell, mypillow.com is the website. Mike, you're a true patriot. We appreciate your time and your efforts in exposing all of this, and we look forward to what God has planned for all of us in this great nation. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless.
Hello everyone, Robert here. I wanted to add this video just in case someone out there is ready for salvation. God will know your heart. You can pray any way you want for salvation, really, because your heart's going to be open and God is going to know. But this may make it easier for some, so go ahead and repeat after me. Dear God, I know that I am a sinner and there is nothing that I can do to save myself. I confess my complete helplessness to forgive my own sin or to work my way to heaven through any good works. At this moment, I trust Christ alone and receive by faith all grace purchased by Jesus as the one who bore my sin when he died on the cross. I believe that he did all that will ever be necessary for me to stand in your holy presence. I thank you that Christ was raised from the dead as a guarantee of my own resurrection. As best as I can, I now transfer my trust to him and, by my faith, take hold of his grace and love for me. I am grateful that he has promised to receive me despite my many sins and failures. Thank you for your word that will guide me as to how I should live my remaining days. Please grant me the wisdom to discern correctly and motivation to grow my faith, obedience, understanding, appreciation, and love for you. Thank you for your grace and mercy that I do not deserve. Thank you that my salvation is not based on my level of performance in my short life, but in my receiving what your victory on the cross did pay for. Thank you that I can receive by my faith alone your glorious gift of salvation. Thank you for hearing this prayer and for saving me. In Jesus' name, amen. And like I said, you can say any prayer you want, really, because God is going to know that you're ready for salvation and that your heart is open and that you accept Christ as your personal Savior. So God bless and you have a great day. Bye-bye.